Robert's preferential treatment. Is she? Was she innocent when she watched me get kicked out? When she enjoyed all the benefits of being the real child while I was treated like an unwanted guest? No, Mom. Chloe made her choices too. I can't believe you're being like this, she said, her tone shifting from pleading to accusatory. After everything I sacrificed for you growing up. And look how quickly you threw those sacrifices away the moment Robert told you to, I shot back. I'm done with this conversation. Don't call me again. I hung up before she could respond, my hand shaking with anger. For days after, I waited for the guilt to hit me. For the second thoughts, the nagging feeling that I should have been the bigger person. They never came. Instead, I felt lighter, as if I'd finally put down a burden I'd been carrying for years. A month later, I came home to find an official-looking envelope in my mailbox. Court summons. My mother was suing me for financial support under our state's filial responsibility laws. According to the lawsuit, because I was her child and financially stable, I had a legal obligation to help support her and her dependents, including Robert and Chloe. She claimed that Robert had acted as a father figure in my life, that they had provided for me during my formative years, and that I now owed them support in their time of need. I laughed until I cried, then called a lawyer. Update 1. The courtroom was smaller than I expected, more claustrophobic. I sat with my lawyer, trying not to look across the aisle where my mother sat with Robert, gaunt now, visibly ill, and Chloe, who glared daggers at me throughout the proceedings. My lawyer, Sandra, was ruthlessly efficient. She had prepared a meticulous case demonstrating that I did not meet the criteria for filial responsibility in our state. Your Honor, she began, the law is quite clear. Filial responsibility statutes do not apply in cases where the parent abandoned the child, where the child is financially independent, or where the parent's financial hardship is the result of their own choices. My client's case meets all three of these exemptions. She presented documentation showing that I had been forced out of my home at 18, still a high school student. Testimonies from friends who had given me couches to sleep on. Employment records showing I had supported myself entirely since then, without a penny of help from my mother or stepfather. Furthermore, Sandra continued, the plaintiff is attempting to extend filial responsibility not just to herself, but to her husband, who is not my client's biological or adoptive father and has no legal relationship to him, and to her stepdaughter, who is even less of a claim. This is a clear overreach of the statute's intent. My mother's lawyer argued that I had not been abandoned but rather encouraged toward independence. That Robert had provided a home for me for 4 years, making him a de facto parent. That my mother's financial troubles were due to medical necessity, not poor choices. But the judge wasn't buying it. Mrs. Henderson, he said, using my mother's married name, did you or did you not have any contact with your son between his departure from your home and your recent request for financial assistance? My mother shifted uncomfortably. We spoke once or twice. Once, I corrected from my seat. For less than 5 minutes. On Christmas, 3 years ago. The judge raised an eyebrow. And during this time, did you provide any financial support, housing, healthcare, or other assistance to your son? No, but... And was your son a legal adult when he left your home? Yes, technically, but... No further questions, the judge cut her off. He turned to me next. Young man, did your stepfather legally adopt you at any point? No, Your Honor. And did you maintain any relationship with him after leaving the household? No, Your Honor. He nodded, jotting something down. I've heard